All right, ladies and gentlemen, we back in black, and it's 12:59 a.m. About to turn 12 noon. Nah, I don't need no squeegee. Nah, I don't need no squeegee, man. You cleaning my stuff anyway. I ain't need it. Gonna mess up my windshield, dummy. Yep. Squeegee boy came and sprayed up my windows. I was telling him no. And he gonna put his hand over some money. Man, you tripping. But let's get back to the negative show. So let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, okay. Was naming off a bunch of people that are supporting this Trump train. And what did I say? 107, Charlie Ward, Prime Minister Amina, Scott McKay. The list just goes on and on and on. Everybody's been telling us what Trump was going to do. They kept telling us to just hold the line. They kept telling us that Trump had a plan, that the military had a plan. They've been telling us that this is a movie. They've been telling us that we need to decode, and then we would get a big D class. We would get a great big giant info drop, declassification, coming on the TV, coming on your cell phone, showing everything that we needed to know for pertinent purposes. It was supposed to be 12 days, 10 days of darkness, 12 days of darkness, 10 days of darkness, whatever. Well, the days of darkness never showed. So let me go from beginning to end so you can understand. This all started during the Civil War. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln borrowed money from the French. At the end of the Civil War, the French wanted their money back. You know, they loaned them the money, they wanted their money back. Well, at the end of the Civil War, the United States was in bankruptcy, so couldn't pay the money back. So the French took the United States to the World Court, where Great Britain was the world Postmaster General. So France takes them to court and says, we want the United States as compensation for them not paying their debt. So all of a sudden, Spain jumps up and says, no. We claim the United States for Spain because we sent Christopher Columbus over there and he discovered America and da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, Britain says, very funny. I'm the world postmaster general and I'm over everybody. So they mine. Y'all get nothing. And I'll set the agreement. And they set the agreement. What will be the terms for the bankruptcy? All right. So part of the terms for their bankruptcy was Great Britain attached 1 million additional laws to our Constitution. Part of those million laws was the creation of the IRS, which is the debt collection agency for the Rothschilds, the ones that are being paid the money from the debt, because they ultimately own everybody. And then, so you have the United States, which is in debt to Great Britain with 1 million additional laws. And like I said, part of those laws were the creation of the IRS. The IRS is the debt collection agency for the Rothschilds. The Federal Reserve is the actual bank for the Rothschilds. So the money goes to the IRS, to Britain, to the Rothschilds, somewhere around there. Because Rothschilds are all tied up with Britain and everything else. Vatican, Britain. Got to do your research. So anyway, the million additional laws created the birth certificate. And the birth certificate is the legal tender note denoting that we are the collateral for the debt called the Civil War bankruptcy, the United States Civil War bankruptcy. So your birth certificate was created to signify you are the collateral. When you're born, your mother signs your birth certificate, and when she signs your birth certificate, she signs you over as a ward of the state. That's why parents have limited rights, and they can just take your baby from you in the hospital because you just signed over your baby as a ward of the state. Then they take your birth certificate and they trade it on the stock market all your life and get paid. Even if you poor, broke, and destitute, they're making money off of it. Modern day slavery. But it's slavery of the mind, not just the body. It is the whole package now. They had it good. So go research what those 1 million laws are that are attached or were attached to our Constitution. Creation of the CIA, there's so many different things. All right, now, let's move forward. Since we owe the debt, we needed a way to be able to pay the debt off or be forever slaves of the ones we borrowed the money from. So we had gold and silver, we had precious metals. And we were going to take that gold and silver and we would be able to turn it and make additional money to be able to pay off the debt. But the Rothschilds foresaw all of that. So they forced the gold turn-in, which is really the United States had to pay on the nut. So they took all their assets to pay on the nut, which was the gold and silver. The only things that we had to make dollars on top of dollars to be able to pay off the debt. So when they took away the gold and the silver, it essentially turned the United States into one great big giant sharecropping plantation. And you know about sharecropping. You know you can work yourself forever and a day. You can have a great big abundance crop. But when the slave master or plantation owner came in and it was time to pay the piper, no matter how well you had done that year, they took almost everything and left you even further in debt than you were before. Well, that's what happened to the United States when they took the gold. They took almost everything and left the United States in such a debt that there was no way to get out. So what did the United States have to do? Because all the taxes were being placed on the debt, taxes were not used to help the United States. The United States was running on guns and drug sales. That's why we had the Iran-Contra situation with Blendenning and what's his name? Freeway Rick Ross and all the crack cocaine and all that stuff. Well, the United States had to make money to pay the infrastructure and everything else. That's why they weren't taking care of all the roads, the streets, the bridges, and everything else, because they didn't have the money. It was being sent off to the Rothschilds and to Britain for the national debt. So all this time, they've been selling guns and drugs. Look at Barack Obama with Fast and Furious selling all those guns in Mexico. I mean, this is the way the country is being run. But those last couple of presidents got caught. You know, they spilled the beans. We found out about Oliver North, which is still doing the same thing now. So, fast forwarded to 1999. In 1999, that was the last and final hurdle for the United States Civil War bankruptcy. 1999. Russell J. Gould and his partner, David Wynn Miller, you can check them out on YouTube. Subscribe to War Castles on YouTube, War Castles, or subscribe to Quantum Grammar on YouTube, Quantum Grammar, or you can subscribe to Russell J. J-A-Y Gould, G-O-U-L-D on YouTube. Any of those three pages. Then look up The Last Flag Standing. And when you find The Last Flag Standing, you'll see a white gentleman wrapped in the U.S. flag. And that is the right video. You need to watch that video from beginning to end so you can understand what I'm telling you right here and now. In 1999, Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller saved the United States and the world. They freed us by settling the last hurdle of the Civil War bankruptcy. They settled the Civil War bankruptcy, which means that the national debt was settled. There is no more national debt. Okay? Additionally, they captured the Title IV flag. The Title IV U.S. flag is the only flag that authorizes commerce and governmental authority. Without that flag, you are nothing and nobody. So in order to be somebody, you have to have that flag. Just like a policeman without a badge. It's a fake. If a policeman don't have a badge, that's not a policeman, that's a fake. If a president does not have a flag, that's not a president, that's a fake. Or you can call it deep state, or you can call it a shadow government. Because it is a illegitimate government. And an illegitimate government is a shadow. It is not the real thing. Since 1999, we've been having all these United States flags that say made in China. Why is that? Because they've been selling us off to China. And because these presidents are shadow governments. They are not actual presidents. They don't have an official flag. They got Mickey Mouse flags. They got Walt Disney flags. They got ornamental flags. They got anything but the official United States flag of commerce. So I'm saying all this to say, they're telling us to put Biden against Trump when both of them are shadow governments. And a shadow government is illegitimate and non-valid. So no matter how you dice it, Trump is illegitimate and non-valid. Biden, we already knew, was illegitimate and non-valid. But Trump appears to be valid, but he's not. He's illegitimate and non-valid. And why can I say that? Because in order to be the president, you must have the Title IV flag. And neither Biden, neither Trump has the Title IV flag. Only Russell J. Gould has the Title IV flag. And he's an upstanding man. Because in 1999, when he saved the flag, saved the United States, and saved the world, when we had those 18 days that the post office closed down and the government shut down, Russell J. Gould reopened the government. But at that time, we were supposed to have a whole new election for Congress, for Senate, and for presidency. And we did not, because the shadow continued to rule illegitimately. The shadow said, I'm not stepping down, make me. Now they're telling you Donald Trump won't concede. What's he conceding from? He was never in a government. It's a shadow government. So he wants to, y'all want him to concede from a shadow government? So they can usher in the real evil shadow government? Nah, that's the only reason that Trump has a little bit of my attention. Because he's not as evil as Biden. But the fact remains, he's still a shadow government. And if he's a shadow government, then he ain't to be trusted but so far also. And that's part of the reason why he choked. Because he knows how evil Biden's shadow government is. And he knows that they'll do anything to get him. Because that is the epitome of evil. Biden's administration. Part of Obama. Part of the Bushes. Part of Clinton. Oh, man. So much evil. Child pedophilia. Adrenochrome. Man, the list goes on. Now, Trump, he's got his problems, but he's not in as deep as those devils. No, he's not in that deep, but he's still in there. So, you ask yourself, how are you supposed to figure this out? How do you decide? It is very simple. Like I said, if a policeman does not have a badge, he's not a sworn authority. And if a president does not have a flag, he is not the sworn authority. A policeman with no badge is just like somebody walking down the street and want to make a citizen's arrest. And a president with no flag is just somebody just playing at leadership. He has no authority behind him. Now, they want to try to rule by fear and not authority. That's why the censorship is taking place. Because you got two shadow governments that want to win at any cost. They don't care what it takes. But you got Russell J. Gould that saved us and is waiting for us to catch up, to smarten up, and to back him so he can do what we need to do so we can be true and correct. He needs you to view this information. Watch The Last Flag Standing so you can understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand it yet, you need to learn syntax. Because syntax means the same thing forwards and backwards. It stops the lies. It stops the loopholes. It stops the scams. It brings everything to truth. It corrects. It does not discriminate. It does not. It doesn't hate. It doesn't attack. It doesn't diminish. No. Syntax protects. But to understand syntax, to put it in everyday terms, people know about the grammar. People know about the grammar police. And syntax is the grammar police on 1,000 or 100,000.